Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I am Susan Oza, and I'm the founder of this exciting and newly launched innovative mentoring network. We are One2One Mentoring Network, and it's a support and mentoring network that is primarily led and driven by experienced and high-achieving professional Black women. The aim of One2One is really to target Black and other ethnic minority women, particularly in the workplace, due to the underrepresentation in this area. However, we have some other pathways that women from other backgrounds with interest in supporting minority initiatives can join. It's an associate member pathway. I'll talk about this a little bit more later. We, in One2One Mentoring Network, we believe that we are stronger when we are together. And even as a Black community, there is a benefit of working with people from diverse communities to kind of expand our horizon. So I really am not a believer of just having something exclusive to the Black community, and hence the reason why through our network, we believe very strongly in affiliations and partnerships with people with different genders and people from other communities. We believe our motto is enable to empower, and enabling through support and some of our mentoring and coaching programs. So people who benefit from these programs will in turn go out and enable others so that they too can benefit, and enable and empower others as well. And that's the reason why we call it a network. Why did we develop this network at all? It was an inspirational idea for myself as a founder. I kind of did this deep reflection about following this whole George Floyd murder and also the BAME, British and ethnic minority, COVID-19 response, and all these things. I asked myself, okay, so as a British African living in the UK for so many years, what could be my what could I contribute to the community? And hence this idea was birthed, looking at myself as living here for over 20-something years and contributing to the community. And then knowing that my network had similar experiences. And then so therefore we came together after a number of discussions, and we decided that it would be good to hand over some of the experiences living and working in the UK to people who were climbing up the career ladder, particularly looking at obstacles that they could explore with regards to negotiating some of the barriers in the workplace. Our vision is to enable a pathway. We believe a lot in pathways. Pathways are very, very important, and it's important. Being a clinician myself, I work a lot with pathways, and I know the benefit of pathways in enabling my patients and ensuring that my patients receive the right care. And so in at One2One Mentoring, we have very clear pathways which our mentees can join, our mentors can join, and to ensure that anyone who joins our program will receive maximum benefit, and to ensure that there's this idea of self-improvement, self-fulfillment, and empowerment in women of African and Caribbean origin, but of course, other women or men who are interested in partnering with us in this program. Our mission is to enable the professional woman of African and African Caribbean origin or descent through our programs and associations. I've already touched on associations and affiliations and how very important it is to how inclusion is important to expand our horizons. And so therefore resulting in this idea of promotion of diversity and equality in the workplace and enabling them to reach their full potential. I want to talk about some of our aims and objectives because it's good that we have goals, but how we arrive at those goals are very important. We are very, we work around looking at enhancing leadership skills, promoting self-help skills, and healthy work-life balance, which is very important because people might work a lot and then find that they are completely burned out. So some of the programs that, some of the discussions and conversations we have are around this area. I mean, definitely I can say that for myself as a professional who have worked in the UK for many years, how I'm constantly juggling this work-life balance to ensure I don't burn out. We are very much also for encouraging excellence and innovation, and particularly with our medics, promoting the principles of clinical excellence, self-reflection, excuse me. This is very, very important. Self-reflection is very important. I think it's very, very important in anybody's learning journey to reflect. And certainly as a medic, it's one of the things that have been, that is kept it's part of the way you progress. So before your appraisals, before your revalidation, anything at all you learn, you are encouraged to reflect. And being a trainer myself, I always look for evidence of reflection because I think that's one of the ways you learn. If you don't reflect, how do you explore the barriers to the learning? How do you know what you have learned? So one, you can then add more to what you have learned or actually impart to others, and then particularly make things easier for others. Quality improvement projects can come out of reflection. So reflection is something that we will work with our mentees and mentors alike, because the learning journey is not just about the mentee or the client, but also about the mentor delivering the program. We as mentors we are never under any illusion that our learning journey has ended. The day your learning journey ends is probably the day you close your eyes and depart this world. So forever, as long as we are in this world, as long as we are in a profession, or as long as we are mentoring somebody, there's a principle of understanding that we are also on a learning journey. Excuse me, somehow my hair is going into my eye. Okay, so definitely awareness of self-reflection through shared learning from a number of small group discussions, focus group discussions, group mentoring, encouraging our mentees to continuously, and the mentor to continuously reflect, and then take learning from that reflection. Our objectives include, obviously, enablement through our mentoring, coaching, and support programs, looking at enabling people to have smooth career progressions. There's something authentic about, it's not always, but I'm just looking at myself and the way I negotiated some of the barriers linked to my gender and sometimes linked to my culture or my race. I think having somebody who might be experiencing something similar, where the mentoring focus is around those specific barriers, provides some authenticity That's the word, authenticity, authenticity. Because you might, I mean, that's a, I always say one of my favorite things is, you know, recognizing conscious and unconscious bias. And it's certainly beneficial for people to understand what unconscious bias is. We all have unconscious bias. And sometimes there's something to be said about unconscious bias and this whole issue around empathy gaps, and not really understanding your mentee because they are experiencing probably something linked to their gender, their culture, their religion, or their race that you might not really identify with. So that's one of the reasons why one-to-one mentoring, I believe, can be powerful in supporting the Black community, particularly women from the Black community, is just this. Because whether we like it or not, some of us have had to negotiate some of those specific barriers. Now, there are so many reasons why one will need mentoring, but one might also need mentoring to understand how they can explore some of those barriers. And I think this is some of the solutions we have in our network in getting some of our mentees, if they have this particular issue, to understand how they can explore those barriers. So I think that's fair enough. So we do have conversations and group mentoring specifically around barriers linked to race and gender. How do you overcome unconscious bias? How do you deal with somebody who has unconscious bias? How do you respond to them? How do you respond to stereotypes? Because there are stereotypes. People have stereotypes. We all have stereotypes. People have stereotypes. But when you are experiencing that stereotype, how do you approach it when you are told that you are maybe not good enough, and yet you are not giving feedback? How do you respond? Being women, we probably are quite emotional. We might be emotional about it, but when that emotion, when you take the emotionality out of it, how do you deal with it? We will enable also, we will signpost to valuable resources to enable seamless career progressions. We will research. We do research valuable resources around different topics. We have other, we do things like, you know, our podcasts, our blogs will definitely contain very useful resources that we believe can support mentors and mentees. How you navigate through a complex system of career progression. I've already mentioned that all our mentors, volunteer mentors, coming from diverse backgrounds, diverse industries, they have worked there for years. All are successful in what they do. And so how did they get to that level of success? And this is what our mentees would want to know. What did they do? What did they do? And what should they have done that they didn't do? Because again, you know, it's the learning journey, and some of these ideas will be explored in conversations in safe areas, safe platforms that our mentees will be able to take away and also enable others and empower others. I like change management because, I mean, change management can be applied to an individual as well as an organization. And I did, when I was studying for my master's in education, that's one of the things I had to do, and looking at change management and applying it to a quality improvement project. And through that learning, I learned a lot of things that I wish I did before I took a leadership and management position a few years ago, because it did me a whole lot of good understanding psychological processes related to change management. So we will help our mentees to understand the principles of change management and how understanding of this can bring about success. I have already mentioned benefiting from personal experiences of highly motivated and experienced professionals. One of the things that we do, we put interview panels together for mentees to practice their interview skills. We have access to experienced professionals who can look at CVs and also basically signpost our mentees to resources that can help them with communication skills, public speaking, through our podcast webinars and also our group mentoring platform. So there's plenty there, and this is why one-to-one mentoring is not just one-to-one. One-to-one is the sort of one-to-one relationship that you have with your mentor, but you equally have access to all the professionals in the network, and also peers as well. We encourage peer-to-peer support. We encourage peer mentoring, because we know that mentoring, understanding mentoring and doing mentoring and engaging in mentoring can lead to increase in future employability prospects. And plus, we are also a not-for-profit volunteering organization. So we know that some of the voluntary opportunities that may come up in the network will also benefit our mentees in the future. Okay, I believe in strategic priorities, and we do have very strong strategic priorities around mentoring and coaching, training and education through discussion forums, leadership development, and apprenticeship and internship programs. That's one of the areas that we are hoping to enable some doors to be opened. Engaging with our affiliations and partnerships and organizations that will support us in the future. And hopefully our mentees will gain some benefits by being part of some of these apprenticeship and internship programs, and obviously volunteering opportunities that might come up in the future. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. I hope I remember to post. Now, let's see. Trying to move my next slide. That's right. So what programs do we have? We have, I mentioned earlier, pathways. Okay, so we have a number of pathways, and all the pathways deliver similar things, but they're quite different with regards to our goals. So the core program is what I've been spending the last 15 minutes talking about, targeted at women from African and African Caribbean backgrounds. Then we encourage women from all ethnic backgrounds with interest in supporting ethnic minority initiatives to join through an associate membership pathway. You will get the same thing. There isn't any difference between someone joining through the core partnership program or someone joining through an associate membership program. And anyone who joins our program will benefit. We've got the Heritage Parent Academy, and that's another pathway that we felt was very important, especially, and this is again targeting parents to support them with mentoring their children from primary school all the way to sixth form. You'll be surprised at very simple things that parents might possibly not be aware of. And so the whole idea is to highlight, or just, I'll use the word highlight, the benefits of coaching from when a child is very, very young. It has to start very early. You can't wait until the child gets to university before a parent decides that, oh my goodness, mentoring could have helped. I think right from the start, even before the child starts school. I remember when certainly when my children were very, very young, before they started school, I used to do a lot of walking, and I started teaching them to recognize colors and numbers and letters just by looking at them. For example, the numbers on people's doors. That is it. I'll point to them, I'll point to the doors, I'll ask them the color, and then I'll ask them the numbers. I'm sure a lot of parents do that, but it's something that one cannot take for granted. Just because you did it doesn't mean that someone else is doing it or did it. Because obviously people are different times in their lives and different circumstances. But it's about supporting particularly parents from the Black and ethnic minority communities, and also other parents as well from all diverse communities through some of our mentoring programs. And there will be some, so we've put here, I don't know if you can see my arrow. We have the benefit of having, quite a number of professionals on the forum of the network being medics, and particularly in the area of neurodevelopment, like myself. And as we know, neurodevelopmental disorders can impact on learning. So this is one of the topics that we are very keen to explore, helping parents understand that, you know, disorders like ADHD, autism can impact a child's learning progress. And so therefore, if it's not identified early, that can really impact on the child throughout their school life. Particularly autism, it's well known that autism is, and even ADHD, you know, the earlier the intervention, the better. I'll go to the bridge program. Why am I saying that we have, it's a woman, it seems to be a woman program, yeah, women's program. And yet we've got the bridge program, which targets young Black men. Again, I'll just refer you to the Equality Act 2010, talking about identifying certain protective characteristics such as race, gender, even religion, etc., etc. And then looking at doing a positive action or putting in place positive action to reduce inequality. This is just me summarizing, but it's more than that. Okay, so we just felt that, I mean, to empower women, you can't empower women and their daughters without empowering their sons. Okay, and then if we looked at the community, obviously young Black men are very underrepresented in so many areas. And also there are certain communities, underprivileged communities. By saying that, it does not mean that any mentor, any mentee, prospective mentee from any community will be turned away. And again, we support any community from our associate membership pathway or through our affiliates, supporters, champions, as long as there is interest in supporting minority initiatives. There should not be any problem at all for anyone to come to us for support. I hope I'm not rushing, but we go to the next one. That's if my computer seems to want me to click on the mouse a number of times before it turns. Hey, okay. So how can you be involved or support us? You can apply to become a mentor, and anyone at all from any background can become a mentor. No one is excluded from this program. Although it's targeted at a certain community because of the underrepresentation in the Black community and the ethnic minority community, it doesn't mean that we will be refusing people who want to join as mentors. So we encourage as many people who want to join one-to-one mentoring program, because, I mean, the more diverse and inclusive, the better for everyone, the better for us. And again, having people from different backgrounds also promotes racial harmonization, racial understanding, and that is why one-to-one mentoring is a unique network, because we do encourage people from all over, from different backgrounds to join. You can apply to become a mentor, you can apply to become a coach, you can apply to become a mentee. You can support us just by providing advice within your industry. And this is so simple. So whereas mentoring is a labor of love, I mean, you need to want to mentor somebody and you need to have time to mentor someone. But if you cannot have time, every little helps. If you can even provide just plain advice, that is fine as well. So I'll say, for example, you work in engineering and you say, well, I can't mentor someone, but if they want to know about engineering, I'm happy to provide support, advice, signposting, that's it. And we are keen to hear from you as well. And all that you need to do is to just, when we contact you, agree that you're happy to do that. And then you provide a short biography, not a CV, a short biography of what you do, your contact details. And then when we need that, we will contact you. Thank you, thank you in advance. The Bridge program, I've spoken about the Bridge program, our Heritage Parent Academy. I did speak about Heritage Parent Academy. And also we are keen that you raise our profile on your own social networks. The more publicity we have, the better. We will, in the future, near future, be engaging in publicity and community engagements. And obviously everything will be posted on our website. So if you keep your eye out for that website, we'll make all our engagements known. We will be putting out from time to time some of the surveys that we have engaged in, or any research that we are hoping to engage in. We'll also put that on our website. We will need support to review key articles or interesting articles that you feel topics around what we are providing will be welcome as well. And again, you might be interested in writing articles for us, or you might want to interview us on your radio. Please feel free to get hold of us, engage with us. And you might sponsor us. You might also sponsor us financially, donate or sponsor us, sponsor events, sponsor, donate your time. You might not donate anything financially, but you may donate your time to write a blog or an article for our blog sites. That will also be welcome. We believe in a model of train the trainer, where we believe that in order to equip and enable and empower our mentees, every single mentor needs to provide very, very high quality support and mentoring. So we are going to ensure that we provide very high quality mentors by putting programs in place to support and equip our mentors through some of our leadership programs to ensure that they continue to provide quality support. Okay, so just before I go off, I think I want to share something. We did a few weeks ago, we did it's almost like a needs assessment type survey, just looking at mentoring in general amongst Black women. And it's quite interesting. Let me see, I'm going to stop share and then reshare that screen, and then probably let's see what happens here. So let me share another screen. And this is just a whistle stop, a summary of some of the information. Is quite interesting. Yes, I can scroll it. Okay, so this was I was just kind of curious about finding out about Black professional women's awareness and experience of mentoring in the UK. And I'm quite pleased to say that so far we have received 82 responses. This survey is still ongoing, hasn't closed down. It went out about, I would say, about 6 weeks ago, just less than 6 weeks ago. And basically, the professions are coming from this. It's a mixture of students and professional women, but it's just a diverse range of professions. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go through the main thing. So if you can see here, the number 3, the question 3 says, have you had formal training in mentoring? And clearly, majority said no. This number 4 really is not, it was just to see where people who had said yes. And there are quite a number of different areas that people felt that they received it, with the highest being they did some mentoring and coaching through the university module. Okay, then if we look at 6, how long ago did you have training? Majority said between 1 to 3 years ago, which is not too bad. If you had answered no to question 3, why had you never had training? And we said you could take more than one option. And it's very interesting that majority said that they did not have access to mentoring training. And next to that was people said that they did not have any reason. So it just brings about this whole culture of mentoring, understanding the role and benefit of mentoring in the community. Very interesting. It's a very short sample, small sample. So I can't read too much into it, but it's quite interesting. When we asked that if you've never had training in mentoring, would you like to do this in the future? Majority unsurprisingly said yes. And you can see that with the blue, just this bit. And then we asked about mentoring and whether people had mentoring either via formal or informal arrangement. Clearly, the two are different, and so many people are engaged in some form of informal mentoring, but have they been engaged in a formal mentoring arrangement? So you can see here that majority said no. Yeah, but if you ask them whether they have been, let's see, so have you ever been mentored? So majority said no, but had they been mentored through an informal arrangement? Yes. So you can see here that most people said they had been mentored. And the thing about having an informal arrangement, what is it? Is it mentoring? Is it support? Is it advice? Is it counseling? It's very hard to tell when people say they are mentoring or they've been mentored, or what exactly it is. I mean, it's quite interesting, and this is one of the areas that one could actually go in and explore if one wanted to explore what one means when they have said that they've either provided informal mentoring or they have been informally mentored. It's a very interesting one. We asked if the mentoring arrangement, whatever they were having, was still ongoing, and you can see here the majority said no. Mentoring is on lifelong. As far as I'm concerned, mentoring, maybe not formal, but some form of informal mentoring should be going on, because it's all about learning. Learning is lifelong learning. You can't have a piece of learning and then it stops. And I think mentoring is one of those things that actually can facilitate that learning. It will help you it will help you ask yourselves those questions all the time. It will help you self-reflect all the time. So it's interesting that people had said that arrangement was no longer. So for some reason, it was some just bespoke piece of work, whether it was mentoring or formal mentoring or informal mentoring, and it stopped. So have you, and so we went on to ask, have you benefited? Okay, so if they had mentoring, did they benefit? And then yes, people said they benefited. So for it did help. It helps. And then we asked to score, and we said if you ever benefited from a formal mentoring arrangement on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your experience? 5 being very, very beneficial, 1 not beneficial at all. And it's interesting that I was thinking that we'll kind of get closer to 5, but it's fine. It's somewhere kind of just a little bit above the middle, not bad. And yet, when we asked, have you ever benefited from an informal mentoring arrangement? So that is informal. You go in, you come out, you go to the person, you go to different people, and people said, see, 4.24. So somehow people felt that they benefited from an informal arrangement. So in reading to that, again, it's not from this research, it's just me reading into it. One wonders whether maybe the formal arrangement was just a bespoke piece of work. Maybe the person might not have been very comfortable, depending on who was mentoring. And it was probably, could it have been related to a job? And so therefore you started a new job, and so you had to have that mentoring, or there was an issue at university, and so you had to have that mentoring. And it was almost put on you. Whereas seeking mentoring yourself, a mentoring program, making sure you were happy with who you were matched with, could have maybe changed that picture. I don't know, but it's one of those things that we'll keep exploring within our network, yeah. And we asked here, if you have never, we wanted to know whether people had never benefited at all. Please state reasons for this. And there are quite a difference. I mean, I can't show you that, but they're very interesting responses there. Let me see if I've jumped. Yeah, so yeah, this is the scale. And if you never benefited from a formal or informal, so you can see 24 responses here, with people giving different reasons why they didn't benefit from this. I think one of the webinars I'll do will be actually doing a good PowerPoint of this whole thing once we get more responses in. And then we can look at the reasons that people would have given for why they didn't feel they benefited from either an informal or formal mentoring, full stop, yeah? And then if you have never benefited from the formal mentoring arrangement before, do you think you could benefit? Thankfully, most people said yes. So they thought, well, maybe I didn't get a good experience, but however, it doesn't mean that I'm going to extrapolate that to any future experience. So that's good. So now we go to people mentoring other people. And we asked the question, have you previously mentored or currently mentoring someone through a formal arrangement? And you can see here, the minority said yes. So formal arrangement, the minority, and compared to, and then we asked, if you answered no to question 16, if you have never benefited before, do you think you could benefited from this in the future? So come in here. If you answer no to question 16, have you previously mentored or currently mentoring someone through an informal arrangement? And it's almost half and half. So you can see that some people are mentoring people from, and I thought this was going to be even higher, that more people are mentoring others through an informal arrangement, but it doesn't look like. And it was interesting here, it's an interesting one here. If you have mentored someone via an informal or formal arrangement, did you experience any benefits as a mentor? And refreshingly, majority of people did say yes. And again, quite a lot of responses, particularly one of the things that came up was the benefits of helping other people. So we put the benefits experienced when you mentored someone via an informal, and benefits experienced when you mentored someone via a formal response arrangement. And they were quite similar. The responses were quite similar. And if you have not experienced any benefits from mentoring someone through a formal or informal arrangement, give reasons. So you have fewer people giving reasons, but you know, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this. I promise I'm going to actually do a webinar, a full webinar on the responses. This is just a preliminary view of the responses so far. And hopefully we will end the whole survey soon and then share the results in a separate webinar. So I'm going to stop share. Right, so there we are. It's just a quick, well, it's a quick one. It's just a quick summary of who we are and what are our aims and objectives, our goals are. And it is a network, it's a bespoke network, and like I've said, just to summarize, although targeted at the Black community and ethnic minority and some underprivileged communities, we also are a network that are very keen through associations, partnerships, affiliations, to work with people from diverse professional backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, race backgrounds, racial backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, because I feel that if we work together, we are stronger. So if you want to know more about us, please do not hesitate to contact us at admin@one2onementoring.com. admin@one2onementoring.com. Our website will be out soon, and it will be, I will make sure I mention, announce the website in the next webinar. I hope you all have a good Sunday. It's a very lovely day out there. And until then, see you. Bye-bye.